Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. I know a lot of you will have tuned in earlier. We did start a stream about an hour and a half ago, but the internet didn't like it. My camera battery died and it all went downhill. So I went to the gym, I'm back, and we're going to go through the latest cryptocurrency news now. The camera is charged. The Wi-Fi seems a lot better, so hopefully this will be a successful stream. And to be fair, I do enjoy doing these later streams because we don't have any time restrictions on them. We can just sit and talk for as long as we need to. So let's see what's going on here. Black Sales has put a wave emoji in the live chat. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. I am a little bit flustered. I've literally just walked in from the gym and got in the shower. So here we are. Let's see what's going on with the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down 1.97% within the last 24 hours. Ivan says later is better. I do really enjoy these live streams, but every now and then I like to have the evening off. So I think around 5 or 6 p.m. could be a nice time to continue to do these live streams, but we'll see. I'm still playing around with that and seeing what's best and what is preferred by everyone. Let's see what's going on with the price of Bitcoin here quickly. So this is the Bitcoin USDT chart. We have dumped slightly this morning, but you will be happy to know that if we go to the Bitcoin CME chart here, on the 1 hour chart, you can see that that nice move to the upside that we saw on Friday was whilst the CME was open. So we didn't have that huge gap in the markets. What this is the CME is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Now, this is an exchange that is operational Monday to Friday. When it closes on a Friday, the chart just stops. It just pauses. And then when it opens again for the next week, the chart just starts from where the price of Bitcoin currently is. And that leaves gaps in the chart. So you can see one here, for example. This is a gap. We see them all over the shop on the CME chart. We've got one down here as well. And these gaps act like magnets for the Bitcoin price. Now, to stop these gaps acting like magnets, we need to see price action within that price range. So, for example, if we go to the daily chart here, you can see we've got a CME gap currently down at $20,400. And that is because over here we saw a Friday close at $20,300. And then we saw a Monday open at $21,140. Now, we've not traded within that price range since that period of time. So that gap is still open, and therefore it's still said to be acting like a magnet for the Bitcoin price. Now, whether we close this before the next Bitcoin bull run is a question that nobody really knows. I'm looking at the charts right now, and we've been so accurate on this channel for the last week or so. Every single day we've come on and said bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, and Bitcoin has respected us on the channel very nicely, actually. So let's see what's going on with the Bitcoin USDT chart here. And then we'll go on with the price of Bitcoin, on with the cryptocurrency news even. So let's see what's going on here quickly. What you can see is we have a level of resistance here. I'm looking at between the $28,600 level and the $27,700 level. That has acted like a level of resistance before, as you can see here. And you can see it has acted as a level of support previously as well. And we can pull that all the way back. Now, this is a level that we have been heavily rejected from on the price of Bitcoin right now. We'll see if we continue to get rejected from this as we continue to retest that. I'm also looking at this zone here. So that is the $24,660 level and the $25,200 level. Between that level, those levels, we have a zone of support. So that's what we're looking at there in the price of Bitcoin. Still, we're seeing more volatility than we were. Let me have a drink of my juice a second. As I say, I literally walked in from the gym about 15 minutes ago, so I am still out of breath here. We can see we are seeing more volatility than we were before. If we add some volumes onto here, let's put the volume on. We can see the volume hasn't actually picked up, but the volatility has. So we've seen here a lot of sideways action within the last couple of months, but within the last couple of days or weeks, we are starting to see a little bit more volatility. That volume did really drop off a cliff back in March 2023, and those are the volumes that we want back. We like to see volume within the markets. We don't want to see this very, very low volume area here, because this means that the market price can be affected much more easily. So let's carry on now and see what's going on with the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Big news of the day is that Ethereum founders, the Ethereum Foundation, have swapped $2.7 million worth of Ethereum into Uniswap. Now, this isn't what we want to see. We want to see the Ethereum founders hodl and have diamond hands on their Ethereum. We want to see that they're bullish on their own project. We don't want to see them sell their project for stable coins, but these are things that we see within the markets. We can't expect them to never sell. They need to sell to cover costs, and we don't know what they're actually going to be spending this money on right now, but hopefully it's beneficial for the future of Ethereum. We are seeing lots of changes, although we saw the merge from proof of work to proof of stake happen back in September 2022, I think it was. We still have a long way to go in terms of the development of Ethereum. We're seeing some issues with centralization that Vitalik has been publicly addressing within the last couple of weeks, and we are just continuing to see some problems that need to be solved. Ethereum is not at the end of its production. Unlike we have the Bitcoin network, and Bitcoin can be used as is. Yes, we build layer 2 solutions for the Bitcoin network, but Bitcoin is done, basically. Bitcoin is how it will always be, in my opinion. We don't need to be building on that anymore. We can build layer 2 solutions, which would be great. But for Ethereum, things are different. Ethereum is a decentralized application platform. We need to continue to develop on this. We need to get those transaction fees down. We need to make sure it's scalable. We need to make sure those transaction fees continue to get faster and continue to be competitive with other decentralized application platforms in the markets. And therefore, the Ethereum Foundation need to continue to build on this, make sure we don't have centralization of the network, and make sure that we can continue pushing forwards and continue to compete with that competition. And if that means they need to sometimes sell some of their Ethereum, so be it. And we are going to see this over and over again. We have seen them obviously holding on to their Ethereum through this bear market. It's been difficult times. People don't want to sell at these prices because if you're bullish on the markets, it just feels like you're wasting some of those tokens. But if they need to spend money to develop it on it now, that's what they need to do. Let's see what else is going on in the cryptocurrency news. So let's see what else is going on here. Time to reinvest in Bitcoin after low trade volume of VanEck's ETF. So what we've seen is the launch of Ethereum futures ETFs. Now, an ETF is an exchange-traded fund. This is a fund that tracks Ethereum futures. This has launched within the last couple of weeks. There was a lot of hype about this, a lot of speculation that it was going to be really positive for the price of Ethereum, and that is unfortunately not what we have seen. Now, a lot of people are projecting that lack of interest and lack of volume into what could happen with spot Bitcoin ETFs. I don't think they're the same products. I don't think we can project what's happened here onto what could happen with the spot Bitcoin ETFs. They're completely different products. A spot Bitcoin ETF could massively change the game for cryptocurrency. An Ethereum futures ETF unfortunately hasn't tracked the volume, but I don't think that is a problem for the future. What we can see here is K33 Research has said it's time to rotate from Ethereum to Bitcoin. The lack of trade interest in VanEck's Ethereum strategy ETF was also noted by the team at K33 Research, who suggested that it could be a sign for investors to start reducing exposure to ETH and reconsider investing more in Bitcoin. So they have said, and I will get onto my opinion on this in a second because I think my opinion is pretty controversial, increased institutional access will only create buying pressure if significant unsaturated demand exists. This is not the case for ETH at the moment. We believe it's time to pull the brakes on ETH and rotate back into BTC. Now, I would say that in my own opinion, in terms of my own portfolio, I take on less risk than your average cryptocurrency trader. Yes, I like to dabble in some low cap coins. Yes, I like to take some risks. But with my main portfolio, I am the least risky person in crypto, probably. I like Bitcoin, and it really struggles. I really struggle to move anything from Bitcoin into those altcoins. Now, I see the benefit of that during a bull market, but if I take a look at what's happened previously for the last couple of cycles, you can see that Bitcoin typically performs pretty nicely compared to the rest of the market on average up until that Bitcoin halving. Now, yes, altcoins are at a low and they have been for a long period of time. Yes, this is often called the accumulation phase, but I like to take on less risk. And for me, Bitcoin has the lowest risk in terms of the cryptocurrency markets. Then I'm looking at Ethereum, and then I'm looking at my favorites within the top 20 coins, and then we can go down from there. But what we've seen in past cycles is Bitcoin overall will perform pretty nicely up to that Bitcoin halving. The top 20 tokens on average probably won't perform as well, or probably will perform on par, or those ones that can. And then those lower tokens, yes, we may have some sectors that pop off and we see some amazing 10x gains in the months leading up to the Bitcoin halving, but typically on the main portfolio holding, I just like to hold Bitcoin. And a lot of people are saying, look, Ethereum is at this brilliant price. What's the price of Ethereum right now? Ethereum is at 1,567. Now, to me, that's a steal. My price prediction for Ethereum is a lot higher within the next couple of years. But for now, the least risky thing to do, in my opinion, and what I have done with my portfolio, is to hold Bitcoin until that Bitcoin halving. Then I'm going to reassess and potentially diversify a little bit more. I just feel very uneasy when my portfolio is in those altcoins instead of in Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, my end goal is always to have more Bitcoin. When I'm holding an altcoin, it's because I believe it's going to outperform Bitcoin and I can buy more Bitcoin at the end of that trade. And right now, I just don't see it. I see Bitcoin as that leader. We could potentially see these Bitcoin ETF applications for those spot ETFs in March next year. And with that, there could be a lot of excitement. So I like to hold on to Bitcoin during this period of time. Controversial opinion, not the exciting opinion. I'm not coming to you with an amazing altcoin pick that I've found. I'm saying my portfolio is in Bitcoin right now, and it will probably stay that way until the Bitcoin halving. Obviously, nothing is financial advice. You may find some other sectors that are worth investing in, because we do see some sectors doing some nice gains during this period of time where we're basically just waiting. We've seen it with the meme coins. We've seen it with some other sectors as well, and some people are believing that the meme coin hype could come back within the next couple of months. So it is interesting to look at all of these things. And yes, with the small part of my portfolio, I like to dabble in them. But for the main part, I don't like to take the risk. Let's see what else is going on in the next article here. Black Sales says, hodl. I completely agree. I like to hodl. I like to diamond hand. I don't like to take risk. Maybe at the top of the bull market, I'll say, I wish I just took the risk. But right now, no one knows where we're going to go. And we've got the Bitcoin halving. It's in 6 months' time. PG says, I think you are very wise. I would have done loads better if I had just held Bitcoin rather than all the alts I have. Yes, the transition from one bull market to the next can be very, very brutal. And we also see very, very frequently but the altcoins that are going to perform really, really good in the next bull market, historically, haven't been around in the market before. We see a very few amount of tokens survive from one bull market to the next in terms of holding those top 20 positions. There is always a reshuffle from one bull market to the next. So I like to, do you know what, just accept, yes, I had that nice run to the upside. Yes, I didn't take profits at the top of the bull market, but look, right now, I need to reassess my portfolio. And if I want to move that back into Bitcoin, I have to take that loss and continue on. And because overall, we're probably in a gain anyway. If you've played things right over periods of time, I always say, and I have always shouted throughout the entire bull market, and even through that bear market on that way down, when we were getting those profitable trades, make sure to take profits. If you don't take profits, you're not making any money. So that's what we need to be doing here. Obviously, now we are in this accumulation phase, as a lot of people are saying, and we could be seeing some nice moves to the upside in the new year. Fingers crossed. That's what we are hoping for here. But until then, yeah, Bitcoin. That's what I like to do. Let's see what's trending at the moment. This is going completely off track here. But we can see Binary X is up 2.55% in terms of biggest gainers. And then we're moving on to stablecoins. As always, if stablecoins are in the top gainers or top losers, we've not really seen much movement. So we've got top gainers, 3 of them being stable coins. Things haven't been great in the last 24 hours. In terms of top losers, we've got another stable coin here. USDN, Neutrino USD. Let's take a look at this. It's currently trading at 0.998. Must have been a fluctuation there what's going on here. What else do we have? We're reading that slightly wrong. I'll get the team to fix that. FTT down 8.23%, moved down. We are currently watching SBF in court, listening to what he has to say, listening to what's been going on behind closed doors in FTX. This trial is probably going to last around 6 weeks, so we've got a lot to unpack there. We will talk about that later in today's stream. Let's get back to the cryptocurrency news now and see what's going on there. Before we continue, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. I am just going to have a little bit more of my drink. Right, let's go with this and see what is going on. So, Bored Ape Yacht Club's Yuga Labs announces layoffs and reiterates commitment to the Other Side project. Now, what we've seen here is Bored Ape Yacht Club was one of the leading projects in the NFT hype in the previous cycle. They were performing very, very well. They had the Bored Ape collection, and we did see those NFTs absolutely soar in terms of floor price, in terms of volumes. Everybody wanted to get their hands on them, and then some people were left pretty burnt following the bear market. We've seen NFT volumes and trades go down more than ever. We've seen a massive drop in the interest in NFTs, and all of these projects, even though they were leading in the bull market, are suffering. We are seeing Bored Ape Yacht Club having to announce layoffs, and this is something we are going to see during a bear market, during that drop of interest. But they have reiterated their commitment to the Other Side project, and hopefully they will be able to continue throughout this bear market. The main task for any cryptocurrency company right now is to just hold on. It's a lot easier for investors to look at what's going on and say, if I manage to hold on through this bear market and we get another bull market, I'll be happy. It's a lot harder when you're dishing out people's wages every single month. So these companies have to reevaluate, see what's going on, and try and push through. As long as they make it to the next bull market, they have a higher probability of success there. Let's see what's going on in the live chat today. Joshua Dan says, I'm horrible at taking profits, haven't yet taken any, only given it away. I've had so much come and then go. I listened to Jordan and bought in at tap and rode it up, and I was up like 2,000%. So nice gains there. It is incredibly hard to take profits. We all know what it's like. As soon as you start to feel greedy, you have to take profits, and as soon as you start to feel fearful, that's when I like to buy. This is the kind of habit that you get into in trading, and you have to completely go against your instincts, and it is so hard. But I have a little method that I use myself. So if I've made an investment, for example, you've said there that you invested in TAP at 0.0022 and you made a 20x on your investment. So as soon as I start saying to myself, oh, but if it just reaches this price, I'll have X price. If it just reaches this price, I'll have this value of this token. I'll take profits then. I'll take profits when it reaches $10,000. That's when I know I need to cut my trade. I need to at least take 50% off the table. If I'm looking at it and going, oh, but wouldn't it be nice if it reached here? Wouldn't it be nice if it reached there? I know that I'm getting greedy, and if you just take 50% off, at least take off, I like to anyway, what I've put in and a little bit more, because either way, whatever happens to the price of that asset, you have made a profit. Now, I used to be of the mindset that if I took out what I've put in, I'll be happy no matter what. But it's still a shame when you see yourself get 20x and then it completely dump, and all you've got to show for it is you got out what you put in. It's nice to take out what you've put in and a little bit more, and you'll always be grateful for that trade. You'll always be happy with that trade, and you can't really complain in that instance. So always take profit. I know it's so difficult in this market because it does feel like we are sort of bottoming out, and we are getting closer and closer to that Bitcoin halving, which has historically triggered a bull market. But I like to, if I'm investing in low cap coins, take some profits and at least move it into a high cap coin like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, because to me, they are a little bit safer. But obviously, nothing is financial advice, and you have to do with your portfolio what you will. Just be incredibly careful. Don't put everything out on the table. Only invest what you're willing to lose and all of that good stuff. It is incredibly difficult to not get greedy in these markets, but we need to if we want to build a strong portfolio. Let's see what's going on here. Fraser S says, Celsius has my Bitcoin, grudge buying in again. It is so difficult when stuff like this happens. It's the same sort of feeling as when you make a wrong trade. I have, for example, I bought into Cardano. Cardano was actually the first token I invested in back when it was 5 cents. And then I sold when it was at 4 cents. And then I had to buy back in when I realized that it was a token that was going to perform well at 25 cents. Now, that is not something I wanted to do at all. And I was very, very frustrated about it. Probably a similar feeling to what you're experiencing there with Celsius. Nevertheless, I bought back into it. It did perform well in that bull market, and I managed to make some nice gains from that. But even then, you're probably feeling even worse about this because this is not your choice. You invested in Bitcoin, and you were going to hold that for the long term. Hopefully, we do start to see some funds being pushed back to the users of all these platforms. We've seen FTX take their first steps. We have seen they've put a deadline of October 31st, 2024 as the deadline to give all of their users their funds back, but hopefully we start to see some news about Celsius and other platforms as well. Obviously, users of FTX are still waiting for their funds back, so it's not the easiest thing to predict, but hopefully we do start to see some positivity this way. Other than that, this is not advice, this is just something that I've heard discussed about within the last couple of weeks. FTX claims are actually being sold and traded right now, and I haven't heard the same being done for Celsius. I don't know if this is something that's happening. Definitely something I want to be looking into. In terms of FTX, it's looking more and more probable that users will be receiving their funds back, and maybe even 100% of their funds back. So I'd like to look into that more with other platforms that did, unfortunately, file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy back in 2022. Because these trades are pretty interesting, and it's nice to trade something other than tokens every now and then. Let's see what else is going on in the crypto news here. So Taiwan to propose crypto law by November ending report. What we are seeing here is the data, is the stream all smooth? It looked like it dropped out for a second there. So Taiwan to propose crypto law by November ending. So what we're seeing is another region changing their laws about cryptocurrency. As I keep saying, I just feel incredibly sorry for the regulatory teams in these big companies like the centralized exchanges, because they have to stay on top of all these changes, and there's constant change in terms of regulation and the laws all over the world, all in different regions, and it just must be so hard to keep on top of. Let's see what else is going on in the crypto news here. So we have DeFi social app Stars Arena loses $2.9 million in smart contract exploits. So Stars Arena's issue began on the 5th of October when attackers tried to exploit the platform but managed to escape with just $2,000. Avalanche-based social media platform Stars Arena has lost roughly 2.9 million in AVAX tokens to exploiters via security attack on its smart contract, according to a tweet by blockchain security firm TechShield. Now, as I say, every single time we see an attack, we see these attacks, we look at the smart contract, we learn how the hacker exploited that smart contract, and we learn not to do it again. We are in a new industry. We are going to see problems like this. We are in a new industry, so we're facing regulation, we're seeing changes in the law, and we're seeing attacks on smart contracts. But these are all things that come with a new industry. We cannot expect to get the big gains that we see within the cryptocurrency space, those 10x's, those 100x's, without having a downside. And this, unfortunately, is one of the downsides that we have to accept for the next couple of years. And yes, it's frustrating, but it's something we need to learn and develop from. We can't continue to see these in 10 years' time. They will become fewer and far between, I hope, and we will see more development in terms of the smart contracts. The problems that we have here is that smart contracts coding languages are relatively new compared to traditional coding languages. And with that, we have some flaws that the best practices has not yet been understood. So we have some flaws that we need to learn from and adapt from. So hopefully with every attack, we get closer and closer to that end goal of being completely safe from those black hat hackers that like to steal all of those funds and run away with the money. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Joshua Down says, I tell myself I'll never do it again and definitely take profit way before that point, but I've never felt the power of greed until I entered the crypto space. It's overwhelming. It is very much overwhelming, and it's very hard to kind of change that opinion and that kind of mindset in your head, to change it from feeling when you feel fear to feel greedy, and when you feel greedy to feel fear. You really have to make that switch, and it is so difficult, but when you master that, things become a lot easier in my opinion. Let's see what's going on here. The best advice and the best thing that we all learned from last year, whether you were unfortunately subject to one of those company downfalls or not, is to look into safer ways to store your cryptocurrency. And I know it must be so frustrating to hear that now, but make sure to learn about self-custody, learn how to store your own private keys, learn where's best to store your cryptocurrency. Don't leave it in the hands of anybody else. It was a very hard lesson to learn, but we all need to learn from this and build from this and move forward from this, and don't let this be the reason that you fall behind. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. Fraser says, fingers crossed, perhaps we'll bite the bullet and swap a bit of ETH to BTC. It's very difficult to say at this point in time. As I was saying, Ethereum's at a pretty nice price. If we take a look at what's going on here, Ethereum 1,574. If we take a look at the chart, when was the all-time high for Ethereum? Back in 2021. We are looking up at 2,000. No, it's not. It's well higher than that. We are looking up at $4,870 as that previous bull market high for Ethereum. Now, a lot of people are speculating we are going to see higher prices than that in the next bull market. If we take a look at what's happened in bull markets, then typically we should be seeing a new all-time high for Ethereum if that bull market does come. So a lot of people are looking at this and saying, look, that's a steal. And we could see some bigger gains from Ethereum. However, as I said, I don't like to take the risk. I like to hold on to Bitcoin until the Bitcoin halving, and then I'll have a reassess, and maybe I'll diversify some more then. But don't follow my portfolio and my decisions on your own portfolio. Obviously, do all your research yourself. Take the time to learn and educate yourself about the cryptocurrency space. That is why we have created Crypto Saving Expert. Somebody has asked in the chat, will you be covering about the FCA new guidelines and Tap Global? I will discuss now lightly the FCA new guidelines. There are new guidelines in the UK about cryptocurrency. Now, we are going to see a massive shift here. There's basically limitations on what you can say about cryptocurrency. We are obviously working very hard to try and educate people about the cryptocurrency space, educate people how to trade cryptocurrency, and educate people about the cryptocurrency markets so that you don't need to be listening to others and you can be creating your own opinions. And that is something that we are really pushing at Crypto Saving Expert right now, and from the moment that we started to build this website. We don't want you to have to go out and follow someone else's signals. We want you to be able to go on the website, educate yourself, and learn and be able to make your own decisions, because that is something that sometimes the cryptocurrency space has been lacking. We haven't seen really a website that does everything you need to learn about crypto. We do the news, we do the education, we do the courses, and we want to teach you about the cryptocurrency space. A lot of the time in crypto, there's so many signal groups out there that are basically just, here's my trade, copy it. Here's my trade, copy it. And we don't want you to do that. We want you to educate yourself and learn so that you can make your own informed decisions. So this is really important here. And maybe it will be a push for the Crypto Saving Expert website, because people will go out and start to educate themselves and really understand the markets for themselves and make their own decisions even further. Also, if you are interested in altcoins, we have been doing complete breakdowns of different altcoins in the news section as well, doing full deep dives on different projects. Some of those have been recommended to us in the CSE Plus Discord group. So if you have an altcoin and you want us to do a deep dive on it, make sure to join CSE Plus. And if you join our Discord group, you get access to one-to-one calls with our experts, and you get into our Discord group where we all have nice chats about what's going on in cryptocurrency. But anyway, let's go back to the cryptocurrency news and see what else is going on. As a result of the UK's FCA financial promotions rules, Binance OKX announced changes to comply with the UK. So we have seen, unfortunately, Bybit leave the UK, and we are now seeing Binance launch a new domain for UK users and partner with an FCA regulated firm, whereas OKX has reduced its token offering to around 40 digital assets and placed clear risk warnings. I think the main thing here is that the risk warnings are clear. We are also seeing cooldown periods for users in the UK, which means if you are new to an exchange, I believe you sign up and then you cannot deposit money for another 24 hours. And it's seen as a cooldown period, so someone can't influence you into making a decision really, really quickly and make you do something that you haven't really thought through. There are other rules in there as well. To be honest, I need to give them a big read. But what we can see here is UK reduces digital assets available to UK users and adds clear risk warnings. I think this is the most important thing. As long as the risk warnings are clear, these centralized exchanges can move forward with this regulation. We are seeing here new domain, UK domain from Binance as well. So a new affiliate of Binance, the largest centralized exchange. So just like we have Binance.us, we'll now have Binance.uk, Binance.us, now we've got Binance UK. We see developments like this, but as long as they all continue to abide by these rules, hopefully we can continue to move forward and build the cryptocurrency space. It's a little bit disheartening, I have to say. But let's carry on now and see what else is going on. HTX recovers all stolen funds, gives hacker white hat hack bounty of 250 Ethereum. So HTX management have actually given they've received, let me get my words out. The hacker sent back 250 Ethereum. What's happened essentially is HTX was hacked, formerly Huobi, the centralized exchange, and they have offered their hacker a bounty. If you offer your hacker a bounty, it means you can keep a small percentage of the funds that you hacked, and you send back the rest, and then you don't have to face any repercussions. So we can see here, they have said, Justin Sun, the founder of Huobi or HTX, has said, "We have confirmed that the hacker has fully returned all funds as promised, and we have also paid the hacker a white hat bonus of 250 ETH. The hacker made the right choice. We would like to express our gratitude to everyone in the industry for their help." Now, we did actually see when these funds were stolen, Justin Sun actually offered the hacker a job at HTX as a white hat hacker. I'm not sure how that's played out, whether the hacker is interested in that, but either way, the hacker has made the right choice. HTX can learn from that vulnerability, and they've only paid a small percentage of what was actually stolen in the first place. Let's carry on here with the next piece of news. We've got UK FCA places KuCoin and HTX on warning lists. So HTX is formerly known as Huobi. What we are seeing here is, as I just said, Bybit has left the UK. Binance has set up a new affiliate. We are seeing restrictions on the centralized exchange, which was OKX. And now we're seeing the KuCoin and HTX move on to the warning list. So what we are having here, so let's take a look. The UK Financial Conduct Authority placed 143 entities on its warning list on the 8th of October, including crypto exchanges, Huobi and KuCoin. I'm never going to get used to it being called HTX. The post also provided a link to the FCA's website listing the companies. It stated, "Search our warning list to find details of unauthorized firms and individuals that we're aware of that aren't allowed to operate in the UK." So as per the warning and the FCA's comments regarding the entities on it, it appears that as though KuCoin and HTX are providing services to UK customers without authorization and permission from the regulator. So what does this mean? It basically means that users of these platforms aren't protected by the FCA. So almost all financial firms in the UK must be authorised or registered by us. Unfortunately, there are still firms that work without our authorisation, and the two centralised exchanges come after the FCA implemented new rules and regulation. Now, we are obviously saying, as I just said, Binance and OKX complying with the rules, but they have not yet been put on the list. But we'll keep an eye on that. Let's see what else is going on here. Regulation. It's all we seem to be talking about here. Let's see what's going on. Deribit to launch Sol, XRP, and Matic options. So Deribit is an exchange. It's announced it will add 3 more cryptocurrencies to its options trading services and seek a brokerage license in the EU. positive changes here. It's nice to see some positivity here. Alex Bell, evening. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's see what is going on here in this article. So alongside the additional option services, Deribit announced it will apply for a brokerage license in the EU. Due to the exchange acting as the largest crypto options provider, it could mark a significant milestone for crypto trading in the EU if it were to attain the license. So we'll keep a close eye on that. It will be really interesting. What we are seeing here is Europe is leading the US. In August, Europe's first spot Bitcoin ETF launched on Euronext Amsterdam under the Bitcoin ticker. Now we're seeing applications from asset managers like BlackRock applying for spot Bitcoin ETFs in the US. Now what we have been saying here on the channel for a very long time and all over social media really is that the US could be falling behind in terms of cryptocurrency adoption because of their lack of clarity and regulation. Now we're seeing here the EU has been making steps forwards, Europe has been making steps forwards, and the US is actually behind Europe in this case. Now, there's a lot of speculation that Asia will be leading the next bull market because they have the most open regulation. They are welcoming cryptocurrency companies and trying to allow them to grow, specifically Hong Kong. And we are seeing similar movements in Europe, not as advanced, but we are seeing some acceptance of cryptocurrency products in Europe, and then see if the US will follow. It's not been an easy ride, and I don't think it will be anytime soon, but hopefully in the long run, we will see some positivity from this. As I keep saying, we are new to this industry, and with a new industry, we're going to see problems with regulation. It's just something that comes with it, part and parcel. Let's take a look at the final article here. The breakdown of Bassari's latest report on crypto fundraising for Q3 of 2023. So let's take a look at the state of crypto fundraising in Q3 of this year. We are seeing here the persistent bear market in the crypto industry remains evident in the fundraising data. If we take a look at this quarter continued the downtrend that started in early 2022 and resulted in new lows for total funding and deal counts, a situation not witnessed since Q4 of 2020. So in Q3, the crypto industry raised just under $2.1 billion across 297 deals, marking a substantial 36% decline in both categories compared to the preceding quarter. So unfortunate changes here. But as we keep saying, this is something we see during the bear market. Who's interested in crypto during the bear market? We are, and then they'll call us lucky when the price actually starts to move again. If it starts to move again sometime soon, we'd be very, very grateful. Let's take a look at what's going on with the price of Bitcoin here. The level of resistance that I am looking at is this zone between $27,750 and $28,550. In terms of support, we are looking at this previous level of resistance and support, which is in the price range of $24,600 and $25,200. So hopefully, we continue to retest this level of resistance. We have had some pretty strong rejections from that within the last couple of days, but Bitcoin's still hitting it hard, and hopefully we do start to see some movements. As I was saying at the start of today's stream, yes, the volumes are still low. Yes, they did drop off a cliff back in March this year, but the volatility seems a bit higher than it has been within the last couple of days or weeks. It seems to have picked up slightly, and we look like we are going to be starting attacking some of these higher levels, which would be pretty nice. If we take a look at what's been going on here, can we get a level of support here, resistance here maybe? In fact, if we take the bodies of these candles, let's go from there to here. We want to take the wicks here. We could actually have had a breakout from this already, and if we're looking at this, we want to be holding the $27,000 level. So I'm keeping an eye on that one now that I've identified that. If we go into the smaller time frames, you can see we've actually bounced this a couple of times. So this is definitely a level to keep an eye on, and maybe an indication that we are going to be retesting this $27,750 level to $28,575 level once again. But things are getting interesting. I think things are starting to heat up again. We're now 6 months away from that Bitcoin halving, getting closer day by day, and every single day we are here on these live streams talking about what's going on within the cryptocurrency news. So make sure, if you have not already, to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. That is all from me today, so thank you very much for tuning in as always, and I'll be back here tomorrow with another cryptocurrency news update. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.